Here with me now to bring some levity to this otherwise frustrating time is Brilyn Hollyhand. He's the phenomenal 14-year-old founder of the Truth Gazette. So, Brylan, it's been a little bit since we catched up last, but for all of our viewers, Brylan's going to take my job someday, so I'm enjoying it while we can. Brylan, you've had some pretty major interviews over the past couple of days. Can you break those down for us?
Yeah, Alex, we flew up here yesterday from my home state of Alabama and sat down with Secretary Ben Carson for a huge interview. You know, he's a huge mentor to me and the political spectrum. And then last night we were in the West Wing of the White House and sat down with Kayleigh McEnany for a huge interview. I've now interviewed all of the White House press secretaries under President Trump that actually just sunk in sitting here. That's huge. And then this morning we sat down with Benny Johnson down the street from the Capitol for a pretty good interview. So we're here tonight on OAN. So we've had a pretty jam-packed schedule. Tomorrow morning we'll be at the White House for a Christmas tour to see the First Lady's decorations. So we've got a lot going on. It's a busy trip, but we're enjoying it.
I mean, that right there, that's quite a week ahead of you. That would make a lot of people's careers, but this is just a couple of days in your life, which is something that's really remarkable. But we're talking right now about really the state of the media. It's going through a transitionary period right now. For example, last night, Time magazine naming Joe Biden and Kamala Harris as their person of the year. I know that's frustrated a lot of people since there's a lot of people fighting a pandemic on the front lines. There's a vaccine coming out. President Trump, of course, is currently the president, and he doesn't seem to get the same treatment. What's your response overall to the way that the media has been handling this moment?
Well, Alex, first of all, it's a total disgrace that Time magazine awarded this, used to be an award full of integrity, to Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, two people who lack integrity. You know, I agree with you that this award should have went to our frontline heroes, the people who have been fighting this pandemic head on with this unknown pandemic. But also, if you wanted to give it to a politician or something like that, completely putting conservative bias aside, either side of the political spectrum should have wanted to give this award to President Trump simply because of the one accomplishment of 5 world peace deals in 4 months. For the people in the back that didn't hear that, that's 5 major world peace deals in 4 months. When President Trump was elected, the left said that the world was going to go into terror, that we'd have wars all over. President Trump has not gotten us into a single world war, and he has, 5 world peace deals in 4 months. It's absolutely incredible. If a president got one peace deal in his 4 to 8 year terms, it would be historic. It would go down to the history books. President Trump has gotten 5 in 4 months while fighting a pandemic head on, while leading a response to the pandemic. It's absolutely incredible, and it's a shame that Time magazine did not take the time to acknowledge that. But quite frankly, I don't think the mainstream media will ever acknowledge the incredible accomplishments of this president so far in his first term.
And I've seen a lot of conservatives also bring up the idea that former President Barack Obama won the Nobel Peace Prize for far lesser achievements. I mean, in fact, achievements that came up to not being achievements at all. We resulted in wars in Libya, basically, unrest across the Middle East is some of those decisions. But, Brylan, I do want to focus on you for a moment. I know that speaking of the pandemic, a lot of kids right now are having to make some changes in school, to say the least. Some are going remote learning, some are being homeschooled, things of that nature. What is your life looking right now? I know that you detailed all the interviews that you're doing, all the high-profile things, but on a day-to-day basis, what are you doing?
We're fortunate to be going to school in person back in Alabama, so we're at least fortunate for that, unlike some Americans right now. And I believe every child should be able to go to school. Speaking as a 14-year-old, it's so instrumental that we have education in person. You know, for the last few months of the pandemic, back in the spring when we had to shut down, I understood, why we were shutting down. We're trying to get the hang of this. But at this point, we're, 8 months into this? We have the hang of this virus. People are just too lazy and don't want to bring the kids back to school. So I think it's really, really, really important that we make sure we have all kids back in school. I'm back in school. But other than that, I joined you via Zoom a few months back. We've been doing some Zoom, Skype interviews. This is my first major trip since having the pandemic strike. And we're hitting the ground running. We've done all these major interviews, and we're looking forward to some more soon. Looking forward to the new year, 2021, hopefully being better. So hopefully, we can make some work done, and we've obviously accomplished a lot in the past few months. But it's changed. We're adapting to changes. But the big thing, we're still getting to go to school, unlike some people, unfortunately. And we really want to make sure all kids get back to school.
Yeah, Brylan, we had you on a couple of weeks, maybe a couple of months ago now at this point. It's been a little bit, but after that, I got a lot of emails from people saying that they're a lot more optimistic about the future of not only journalism, but also just the future more broadly after seeing your interview. And I'm sure that right now they're thinking the very same thing. I appreciate you coming on the program, giving us an update on your life and also what you're doing. Brilyn Hollyhand, thank you very much for joining us tonight.
Thank you so much, Alex.